students. Okay, so my question to you, Pontiac School District has a 29% ELL and a 21% IEP. And right now, both of these entities are under attack by the federal government. They're even talking about taking away after-school programs. And who do you think that's going to affect the most? Districts that are socioeconomically challenged.
Right.
So my question to you on both of these, for our English language learners, our immigrants, and our children with special needs, what is your position and what do you plan to do if you're elected governor?
Okay, so I appreciate the question on this new environment that we're living in that Donald Trump has created, where we've got kids who are fearful in their schools, families that are being torn apart, many who are scared to even travel because they don't know what the policy is going to be or who's going to be interpreting and enforcing the policy, has created this atmosphere. I mean, I see it in my kids' school. You know, they're at East Lansing. It's a very it's a diverse school. It doesn't have the same socioeconomic challenges that a lot of schools do, but we have kids who come from all over the world to be at Michigan State, and so they go, you know, their parents are at Michigan State, and so they go to school in East Lansing. They're scared to death. You know, you get fearful children. I remember knocking doors last fall and talking to some little girls who said, you know, we can't talk to you, but do you support that Donald Trump? They were scared. You know, it's real. They feel it. They feel the stress of everything that's happening. And when they try to militarize our state police, I love it when I see someone as strong as the Washington governor saying, you are never going to militarize our state police to execute federal law. And I am proud, and I use that as an example of strong gubernatorial leadership. And that's something that I would absolutely not hesitate to do. On ESL and on at-risk funding, both. You know, we see in our budget, the legislature, term-limited legislature, and you know, I was in the legislature, so I'm not going to dog them all out, but I will say that, you know, when people are there for just a finite period of time, it's a very self-centered thing, but probably human nature to just focus on what can you do today as opposed to what's the real good long-term policy. We see it in the state education budget where legislators take money out of categoricals to put into their own little pet projects. For instance, they've redirected funds for the Van Andel Institute in Grand Rapids. And you know where that comes from? ESL and at-risk. A strong governor could veto all of those special program categoricals and put them right into at-risk and ESL, where it would be the most helpful to kids who need the most help. So those are a couple of examples I think a strong governor could do and a Whitmer governor would do.
Thank you for being here tonight. My question gets back to the criminal justice aspect. So one of the things that we've seen over the past few years is the progression of specialty courts. So juvenile drug courts, family drug courts, veterans courts, mental health courts. And it really becomes a catch-all of these people that end up in the criminal justice system, but giving them a rehabilitative stance towards getting them back into the system so they can be productive members of society. Governor Schneider, and before that, Governor Granholm have supported these programs and have appropriated dollars for them. What would be your stance on the appropriation of money for specialty?
I think specialty courts work well. You know, I'm from Ingham County. I was a prosecutor there for 6 months, so I really had a unique opportunity to see them in action. One of the first things I did on day 4 was I did a ride-along with, you know, the Lansing police. And Lansing is an actually pretty violent city for a city of its size. We were eligible for some special federal funding during the Obama administration because we had a 300% crime rate in a city of our size. It was really, that was an eye-opener for me. But, you know, the most memorable thing that happened that whole night was that there was an Iraq war vet who was distressed and was traveling around, and they'd had a domestic altercation, and his wife had called, and, you know, he was very compliant, fortunately, but he had a lot of weapons in his car. And the question was, what do we do with someone who's got these mental health issues? And the question was obviously jail or the hospital. there's not a really good answer for the immediate problem, but at least in Ingham County, we know that he would qualify either for mental health court or for veterans court, and that there would be the, you know, the additional supports that come along with that. So I've seen the specialty courts in action, and I support them. Yeah.
The final question will be Mr. Stewart.
And ladies, he's married.